Scoring is a cyclist's worst nightmare.
Hey guys, good morning everybody. Today is Monday, July 28th. It is 6:20 right now. We got market opening up in about 10 minutes. So hopefully everyone had a great weekend. I'm going to go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. So it's going to mark up the closest liquidity here. There's kind of no point in going super far out. Um, I think we hit the all-time high. I'm not sure, but I think we did. 'Cause I don't see any other high points from here. So big push right there so far. Going down to the 8 hour over here. Down to the 4 hour. Down to the 2 hour. Yeah, I think we pushed the all-time high. We're down to the 15. Down to the 10 minute. Down to the 1 minute here. All right, looks like we are good to go. So good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, July 28th, 6:22 right now. We got market opening up in about 8 minutes. Looking at the market, looks like we hit the all-time high last night. Yeah. So we had a big price jump over here from from Sunday market open, and then price pushed up even higher. And I think that was the all-time high. Yeah, so already at that point. It's crazy. Yeah, so it looks like we're just going to keep pushing up higher and higher. Looking at today's daily bias. So today's daily bias is bullish neutral tilt. So this kind of shows that, price here has shifted to this very high point, but it's starting to come back down for profit taking. So expect like a choppy market, but we can possibly see price push up even higher and push past the all-time high. That was just established yesterday. So we'll see what happens. There's no telling what's going to happen. But looking over here at the overall trend, we're currently in a bearish trend right now. So we don't necessarily have to look for buys. We don't necessarily have to look for sells either. But looking over here on the 1 minute, 5 minute, and 15 minute time frames, price has shifted to the downside. And we are currently in a downwards trend. You can see price is below the pivots, trend meters red, pivots are angling to the downside. Same with the 30 minute over here. Price has shifted to a neutral trend, along with the 1 hour over here, which is bullish neutral, and the 4 hour, which is still bullish. So we'll kind of just play it by ear, guys. We're not going to really force any specific direction. Obviously, we want to kind of go with the direction of the overall trend plus overall bias, but we're not going to be stuck on only buys or stuck on only sells for today. You got to be able to flow with the market, especially when you're at the all-time high and especially on a week like this, which is NFP. So, yeah, got a lot of stuff coming this week. For today, I don't think there's much news. There is, let's see. Yes, we have Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index at 7:30. It's medium impact, forecasted to be negative, um, but moving towards a positive direction. So with that said, we'll kind of look out for that. But that's pretty much the only news for today at 7:30. So yeah, news right there at 7:30. I'll just put a line there so we're aware. But yeah, if price decides to continue dropping lower, that's completely fine. Nothing wrong with that. I'm okay with following this down even to the next demand zone down here. But we'll see. ATR is currently at 9, so it's a little bit of a slow market at the moment, which is nothing unusual. And it looks like we're just going to keep playing it by ear. So let's see what's to happen next. All right, looking at our orb today. Orb looks like it's probably going to push down if it continues dropping from where it's currently at. We just got liquidity over here wiped out. These were the nearest lows from today. Price was kind of consolidating and ranging here for a bit. Price is pushing down a little bit further. With price pushing down a little further, we do have the London high right here. So if that's the case, might be a little tricky to take the orb if it is for a sell. But I mean, we'll see what happens here in a few. I'll know the direction of the actual breakout or the regular breakout in a few moments. Currently 6:26 right now, so we got about 4 minutes till market open. I'll know the direction of the momentum breakout by 6:29, so in about 3 minutes. Other than that, we will continue on. So let's see who's here so far. Morning, Glenn. Morning, Steven. Morning, guys. Again, if you guys are just joining in, I've marked up liquidity over here. If you guys didn't see the market from this morning, it looks like we have hit the all-time high last night during market open. Price is coming down quite a bit, so we're currently in a downwards trend right now with regards to the lower time frames and middle time frames. So from the 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute down to the 30 minute price, you can see here is below the pivots. The trend meter is red. Pivots are angling down. The 1 hour over here is starting to shift to the downside. Hasn't confirmed yet. This has about 30 minutes left on this candle. So we'll see if that's the case, if it continues to drop lower. If not, then we'll see if price swings back up. But as of now, we currently have a bearish trend. So we're probably going to be looking for some sells today at the early part of the market. Over here for the key bias for the day is bullish neutral tilt. So with that being said, price can shift back up later today. So we'll kind of play by ear again, guys. We're coming back from the weekend, and this is a very unpredictable market because we did hit all-time highs overnight. So we'll see. We might get a huge correction here, and price might push all the way up, or we might get a price limbo right here, and then price may just continue to drop lower. Things here to look at, if that's the case, we have a ton of liquidity sitting up here. So if price does swing back up, that's fine because price will come up and probably grab all this liquidity. If price drops lower, we have the sessions below, but if it breaks past the sessions, we have another demand zone right below it. So if that's the case, then so be it. But looking at this so far, if this is the case here, I mean, it's going to be a little tricky to take an orb entry here, right? Because if you're looking to take the orb, we have to break past the sessions over here. So I don't know if this is going to be an area where I'll be looking to take entry. I might be looking for price to kind of spike up a little bit, and then maybe make its way back down lower. Kind of similar to a head and shoulders here. But anyways, I'm going to clean up this liquidity here because pretty much all this liquidity has been grabbed. I'll leave the lower part, but I'm going to take off all the other ones just in case this is a sweep area. We do want to identify the sweeps just in case. All right, guys, we got market opening up in less than a minute. If you guys are looking to take the momentum breakout, regular momentum breakout is for a sell today. Overall over here, directional trend is bearish. Looking at the orb, we'll come back at that in a few once market has actually opened up. But if you guys are looking to take the regular momentum breakout, it is going to be for a sell today. Again, overall trend right now is currently bearish with regard to the lower time frames down to the mid time frames. The daily bias for today is bullish neutral tilt. So this means that price can shift back up at a later point. So we might start looking for sells, and then we might shift back up to buys at a later point. But I mean, who knows? We'll see what happens here once market opens up. which is in about 10 seconds. We got market opening up in about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Market is now open. So we got price over here kind of pushing back and forth. This is the opening candle. So there goes opening price. Price is pushing up quite a bit right there, as you guys can see. So like I said, price can really go either direction. You just got to wait for a bit here for market to kind of stabilize a little bit. Just remember, guys, Mondays and Fridays are the riskier days to trade. Monday because people are re-entering the market from the weekend. Friday because people are exiting the market from the weekend. So on Friday, you usually see people take profit take, and then on Monday, you look at people re-enter the market. So people are rebuying into the market. This is where this big spike to the upside is happening. This doesn't necessarily mean price is going to keep pushing up, right? Because the overall trend here is still bearish. So just keep that in mind. You can see here price is pushing up. It basically swept off this level right here. So if you guys caught that sweep, looks like price came all the way back down. Quick sweep right there. ATR is currently at 15, so price set your target to like 20, or if you want to go for that full 40, looks like the full 40 right there also hit. So quick sweep right there off that lower high, which was into the demand zone. We got price coming back down below here. So here's the orb, guys. Orb looks like the entry may happen around, let's see. So if price comes below, the orb below is going to be at 45,026. This candle hasn't closed yet, so this can drop down lower. But if this is the case where price ends up staying at this area, the orb is going to be right here at 45.26. Upper orb is going to be right here at 45.94. I think they're both going to be a bit of some tricky areas because there's going to be areas for balance in either direction. So looking at this here, we have the demand zone here, turn supply. And then if price comes back below this point, we have the sessions, which is right below. So I'm not looking to take any sells here just yet. If you guys do want to take an entry here, this is going to be very tricky because if you are going to take the orb for a sell, so for example, the orb for a sell is going to be right here at 45.26, right? So right here, if you take the orb at 45.26, this is where it's going to become a problem because if price reaches this area of the sessions, you might get manipulation right here and price might swing back up, right? This could swing back up and stop you out. And then vice versa, if price even breaks past the sessions right there, you can get down to this demand zone and price can just reverse from there as well. So I'm not really looking to take sells here right now, even though the overall trend is bearish. If you guys do want to take it, I'll mark it up for you guys and I'll follow it for you. But I don't think it's a really good safe entry. I think there's a lot of red flags down below there, and I'm just not ready to jump into the trade at that point. So if you guys want to take it, feel free. I'll mark it up for you guys here. Take it at your own risk. But like I said, I don't think this is a good setup here for a sell. Vice versa, we're here if you take this for a buy. So let me see if you guys are going to take this here in the opposite direction for a buy. The buy here would make more sense. Personally, the buy here would make more sense because there's less red flags around this area, right? Price will be kind of in this area over here, which is going to be the demand zone. But if price does break past it, if it actually pushes past this area, retests and pushes up higher, then you can probably see price push up higher from this point here. The overall bias for today, daily bias, is bullish neutral tilt. So there's possibility for price to push up. The only problem with this, if you are taking the orb entry for a buy, is that the overall trend here is still very bearish, right? So that's going to be something to take into consideration if you are looking to take that, because you will be going against the trend here if you do decide to take a buy. So if you decide to take a sell here, you're going to be in some risk because you have the sessions right here and you have a demand zone. If you take a buy here, you're at risk because you are taking a trade against the trend. But there's more open space here. So if you do take the buy here, it's going to make a little more sense to take that trade because you have price. You have an opportunity for price to push up without getting kind of like bogged down along the way. So just something to keep in mind if you guys are looking to take the orb high is going to be at 45,094. Orb low here is going to be at 45,026. So I'll be looking to maybe take this orb high over here. I'll just kind of set it up in my pending order. I'm not going to take it yet. I'm not really convinced to take any buys at the moment yet, but if anything, I'm going to have it ready just in case I do change my mind. We don't really have much of a direction here, as you guys can see. Price is still going back and forth between the orb range right here. Again, if you're looking to take the orb for a sell, you're looking for price to break and close below this blue line right here. If you're looking to take the orb high, you're looking for price to break and close above this blue line right here. I just don't like this choppiness right here, right? This morning chop. Because typically you're going to expect price to kind of break out of this area and push up higher, or you're going to expect price to break out of this area and push down lower. But we just don't have that yet, right? When you see a market like this is usually a market that's best to kind of sit out of. We kind of sat in a market like this last week, and it was good. We didn't really we took no losses last week. We only had one trade, but we didn't take any losses, so that was a good thing. The thing with this type of market is that it's very unpredictable. Of course, most of you guys know that when you guys are in a sideways market like this, your best friend's going to be the sweeps, right? So we'll see. It's got a new low right here. Yeah, we're kind of just waiting for price to break out of this area. I mean, either way, there's possibility for price to push either direction. Right? Price can push up because we're near the all-time high. Price might try to push that all-time high higher, or price here might be at profit-taking zone where price is going to keep dropping. Either way, we're looking at the market in a full perspective. We're looking at the trend here, which is bearish. So ideally, I'd probably want to take some sells here, but we just can't take any sells in this specific area because there's a lot of red flags below it. We could also take buys here because the overall bias for today is bullish, right? I also put up the weekly chart. So here's a weekly chart outlook. For this week, we have a weekly directional bias of cautiously bullish. Like I said earlier, YM is holding near the all-time highs, which it did break. It's showing resilience despite macro headwinds. The technical structure favors a continued upside, but conviction will depend on Fed guidance, GDP, and payrolls data, which is this week. Again, this week is NFP, guys. So we got a lot of data coming out this week, jobs data, payroll data. We have the Fed coming out with a lot of information. We also have tariff news coming out later this week as well. Yeah, so the tariff news is on, I think, August 4th, which is next Monday, but obviously there's going to be hints along the way this week. So just because it's happening, next week doesn't mean there's not going to be any reactions earlier at the end of this week. All right, again, looking at price, guys, there's no direction here, right? Price is still going back and forth. So like I said earlier, this is not the type of market that you want to take risks in. You want to be patient, wait for price to break out of this area. The orb still hasn't filled yet. So, the orb can still come up in either direction. It can come up to the bottom. It can come up above. No confirmations there yet. Yeah, price hasn't really pushed out of this area. This is opening price. Price is maybe pushed out about 50 points, if not less. We're really just at opening price right now. You can see price is sitting at this blue line, which is opening price here. Let's see, Talanji said sentiment is 65% short, likely because of the all-time high. Yeah, exactly. Profit taking was happening at the top. So I can see that. Looks like the orb here is going to start to possibly set up for a sell, guys. We're getting down to this 45.26. So the orb low right here is at 45,026. So if you guys are looking to take that orb for a sell, you're looking for price to break and close past this area. You can enter on the break and close, or you can enter on the break and retest. For me personally, I like setting limit orders. So I would enter on the break and retest versus the close. But again, it's just really up to you guys. Here's another reminder. If you are looking to take sells, guys, be very cautious because you have the sessions right below here. So even if you do get that sell entry, you might get price manipulation right here at the sessions and price may swing back up. Or even if price breaks past this area, we can get to this demand zone and price can swing right back up again. There's going to be two areas of possible manipulation here, the demand zone and the sessions below. So you can see over here, price is testing the orb low. So price broke the orb low right here, but did not close below it. So if you guys are looking to take that, again, the orb low is at 45.26. It's getting closer for possible opportunity for entry there, but like I said, I'm not really looking to take the sell there. I think if price was to swing back up, I would maybe look for the buy here if the orb would push to the upside. Not so much for the sell here. So it looks like price is kind of faking out in both directions. You can see over here, price is coming down, grabbing liquidity, swinging back up. Vice versa, price pushed up over here, grabbed liquidity, came right back down. So this is tricky. I mean, if you're looking to take entries, sweeps are probably going to be, what you want to aim for right now. The directional entries aren't really set up yet. This looks like it's going to start to set up for the orb entry, guys. So we got price breaking past the orb low right here. Again, if you guys want to take this as an orb sell, feel free to take it. I don't really feel comfortable taking the sells here because we do have the area of manipulation right here, the sessions, and then we have the demand zone right here. Demand or support, whatever you want to call it, guys. I've been using it as demand. It's the same thing. If you look at my support levels over here line up with the demand. So whatever you guys want to call it, support or demand, feel free to call it whatever you like. But again, these are going to be areas where price is likely to get manipulated. You can see right here, price grabbed the liquidity right there at the sessions, and it spiked right back up with a big wick. So this candle is about to close. If you guys want to take this again, your orb entry, you can take it at the close right here and then write this down lower. Or you can wait for the retest and catch it right here. It's really up to you guys. I'm not looking to take this right here because, like I said, it's right at the sessions. This is where I see manipulation possibly happening. If the manipulation doesn't happen here, the manipulation may happen right here at the demand zone. So yeah, for me personally, I'm not going to hop into this. I don't really want to get stuck in like any manipulated moves. I'm sticking to my game plan. Only taking quality entries here. So the orb retest hasn't filled yet, guys. Price is rejecting right here directly off the sessions. So it looks like the retest might be filling right here. Retest is going to be at 45.26. Again, I'm not taking this position, guys, just a heads up. I don't like where it's currently at. Too many red flags below. I'll look for any possible opportunities here for, high-low break and retest or anything like that. So still nothing so far. Clean that up. Clean that up as well. So the retest hasn't filled yet, guys. Retest is going to be right here at the blue line. Retest is right there. Again, I'm not in this position. I'm just following it for you guys. For those of you who want to take it. Again, like I said, this is an area of manipulation. Price is getting manipulated right here off the sessions. It's doing exactly what I anticipated. And this is why I avoided this trade here specifically. Because I don't want to get caught in the price manipulation right here at the sessions. And then reversal back up, right? This doesn't necessarily mean price will not come back down. So price can easily come right here, come back up, and then come right back down. But you're kind of taking a big risk here because you already know this is a manipulated area, right? So there's a couple scenarios here that can play out. Scenario one is price fakes out right here and reverses. Scenario number two is price fakes out right here, retests and comes back down for that retest. Scenario number three is price comes back down or comes right here, retests, and then it just consolidates around this area for a bit. So see how there's a lot of different scenarios that can play out here? I don't like when there's too many scenarios. I like when there's either a scenario where price comes down and I win, or there's a scenario where price comes up and I lose, right? I don't want to be in limbo where price can go sideways and now I don't know if I'm gonna win or lose. Right. So right there, price is dropping. We have the orb inch right here running for a sell. So if you guys took that trade currently running, but price is now starting to consolidate here a little bit, which is what I was trying to avoid here. Let's see any news for today. So a little bit of breaking news here from CNBC. It says S&P 500 opens little change after a US-EU trade deal as traders brace for big market week ahead. There's a lot of stuff going on this week, guys. We have NFP. We have So we have NFP jobs data, Fed data. We also have tariff news coming out early next week. And then we also have it's a big earnings week this week. So where's my earnings calendar at? Yeah, so for this week, there's a ton of earnings. This is considered like a mega earnings week. Today we have Waste Management, Universal Healthcare Services, Cadence Design, a smaller company. These are the bigger ones that I'm looking at. Merck and Co. on Tuesday, United Health Group, Visa. I'm trying to get into Visa. I'm going to try to play this earnings on Tuesday. Then we have Meta on Wednesday. I'm going to try to play Meta on Wednesday and Microsoft. Thursday, we have Amazon, Apple. We have a lot, but I'm just highlighting the ones that I'm actually looking at. These are the ones that I actually see to turn a profit, possibly. ExxonMobil, Chevron, Moderna, Regeneron. That's about it. There's a ton. So this is a week with a lot of earnings. So, not only are you looking at market from a futures perspective, you're looking at it as a macro perspective because of the tariff news, also the jobs data, plus you have stocks kind of affecting the market as well. A lot of these stocks are in the S&P, they're also in the Dow. So something to pay attention to, of course. But all right, guys, I'm not in any positions here yet. You can see here price is doing exactly what I just warned you guys about. So like I said earlier, I'm okay if price is moving directional, right? If price moves directional, great. Price hits my target, sweet, right? If price goes opposite and hits my stop loss, then okay, that's fine too. But the thing that I don't want to be stuck in is a sideways market, which right now we're in a sideways market. So I think this is probably the worst case scenario because in this situation, haven't lost a trade, but now you're kind of like thinking, you'd be second guessing your trade at this point because price is getting manipulated right here off the sessions. So every time price tests the sessions right here, you're like, okay, should I pull out? Should I pull out? Should I pull out? Right? You guys, I'm sure a lot of you guys have felt that before. When price gets near an area of manipulation and you start to get some consolidation around that point, you start to second guess your trade. Should I pull out? Should I hold on to it? Should I pull out? And then, you pull out, price hits your target, or you don't pull out and price hits your stop loss. Then at that point, your trade psychology is all messed up for the week. So, you guys want to protect your psyche, right? Your psyche, your psychology, all that stuff. You want to make sure that your mindset isn't all screwed up for the week because today's Monday. You have a whole week ahead of you. You don't want to go into this week with, second guessing your strategy, second guessing your analysis, any of that stuff. You want to just wait for your trade to kind of play out for you so that you go into this week confident and you're not scared to take trades on the next day. Like for example, right now I'm not FOMOed into taking this trade here because I already knew this was going to happen. You know, that's why I always avoid trades at red flags. So price is pushing back up right here. Let's see, price came to this area. It's kind of went into some drawdown, went into some profit here. It got close to that 30 there. So price dropped down here to about 25 points, almost down to 30 where, I would have moved my stop loss and profit. But again, there's two areas of manipulation here. We have the sessions and then we have the demand zone here. So again, I'm not really looking to take anything here at this very moment. I'll be looking to take something once the market here starts to kind of move around a bit. But at this very moment, not quite. Yeah, Wes said that trading pullout game. I know that's the key thing right there. I know. It's tricky. It's tricky. You got to know when to pull out. You got to know when to stay in. I mean, obviously in a situation like this, I would still hold on to the position if I was in it because you don't want to go against your analysis, right? If your analysis is for a sell and you're in it for a sell, you want to hold on to that trade. You don't want to get scared and pull out too early. But here we go. We're stuck in this consolidation area. If price drops lower from this point, I mean, okay, I'll start looking for some possible opportunities down below. But at this very moment, we just don't have that yet. So one thing I've been getting a lot of questions about, guys, is when am I planning on opening the mentorship again? I've kind of got my schedule back in place to some extent. So I am reopening the mentorship. If you guys are interested in me mentoring you one-on-one for you guys to understand like how we trade here in the morning. If you guys want to learn exactly what I'm doing here, how to analyze this market, how to analyze, bad trades, how to analyze good trades, how to follow my playbook here. Basically, my playbook is very simple, right? I'm following three different strategies. The strategies are easy, but it's really just understanding how to use the confluences to your advantage, right? So my main playbook here is it's three different strategies. I have a directional strategy that I follow during directional markets. So for example, here we're currently in a bearish trend, right? So I'll be looking to take sells here for high low break and retest. You can take either a limit order type or you can take a market order type, which is a MPSV2. If you want to learn how to like identify these and look for really high quality entries like I've been doing here on these live sessions, I make myself available to you one-on-one. If you guys are interested in that, feel free to, reach out to me directly, or you can go on the website. It's just really up to you. And I can basically teach you how to look at the market exactly how I do, literally exactly how I am. There's three different strategies I'm using. A directional strategy, which is a high-low break and retest, sideways strategy, which is sweeps, and breakouts, which I mainly try to focus on momentum breakouts or momentum orbs, actually. So 2 minute momentum orb. I'm pretty much applying all of these limit orders right here. I used to do market orders, but what I started to realize over time is the slippage really starts to mess up your trade sometimes if you are taking market orders. So for me personally, I like putting limit orders and just waiting for the trades to get filled. But yeah, if you guys are interested in that, feel free to reach out. I'm only really mentoring like one person per month because I really want to focus on just one person. Um, so yeah, we are back open for mentoring. All right, so looking at this again, guys, market's doing exactly what I warned you guys about, right? So I said earlier, if this market was going down, I'd be okay with that. If market was going up, I'd be okay with that because I'd either win or I'd lose right away, right? For this orb entry, I think this orb has been running for a while now. So this orb has been running for how many minutes now? Almost 20 minutes. This is a breakout strategy. It's supposed to hit right away. So we got price coming down right here. It's now in the demand zone. So I believe it's hit 30 points now so far. If you guys are in this position, 30 points have been hit. So I do highly recommend you move your stop loss and profit to 10 points. So now guarantee 10 points and pushing down to the 40 right there. So this is the orb entry. It's currently running in profit. There is a red flag down below, which is it's not really a red flag, but it's a demand zone. It's an area of balance. The red flag here, price is finally broken past it, which is the sessions. So this could possibly line up for a high-low break and retest right here down below. I don't really want to take trades in the demand zone though. All right, so the orb hit full TP right there, 40 points. If you guys caught that, nice work. If you guys didn't catch it, it's completely fine. I sat out of this trade as well because of the obvious reasons. Sessions down below, red flag. So there we go. Daniel got the orb right there, full TP for 40 points. Nice work, Daniel. So there's a possible high-low break and retest right here. If you guys are looking to take that, this has to fill on this specific candle. If it doesn't fill on this candle, then you have to cancel the order. It's broken past this lower low right here. Price is coming back up for that retest. I would take this if it wasn't in the demand zone, right? Because we're in this demand zone right here. This is typically where price bounces from. So this still goes against my criteria. So I'm not in this position here either. Like I said, I'm just kind of following it through right here. If we get an entry that's down below here, like down at the lower end of the demand zone, then I might be okay with taking a high-low break and retest down below this area. Not up here, but if it's down here, more likely to take it, or even down here towards the middle. You guys can see here how the manipulation may typically spike back up. It's a clear rejection off the demand zone right here and push back to the upside. That was pretty close, right? This orb here was pretty close. It got close to hitting the stop loss, I think. Got up to about Yeah, 16 points. So it was a tight entry. Very tight entry right there for the orb. All right, again, guys, I'm not in any positions here so far. Let me clean up the chart a little bit. This is a high-low break and retest currently running, but it is within the demand zone. So, like I said earlier this morning, guys, I'm sticking to quality entries for today. This is the start of the week. We have a whole week ahead of us. Don't really need to force anything here just yet. We got price pushing down right there. High-low break and retest is running to profit. Again, once it hits 30 points, that's going to be the area where you would likely move your stop loss and profit. And then once it hits the 30 right there, you can continue pushing for the 40. But you'll guarantee 10 points here. So it's almost at that 30 right there. Overall trend is still very bearish. 1 minute bearish, 5 minute bearish, 15-minute bearish, 30-minute bearish. 1 hour here is now switching to bearish. And there you go. 30 points is hit. So at this point, I would highly recommend moving your stop loss and profit to 10 points. If you want to do that, feel free. If you don't want to do that, you don't need to. But at this point here, you would guarantee 10 points and aim for the full 40. Looks like it's almost there. Full TP right there for the 40 points. If you guys caught that right there, that is the high-low break and retest. So again, if you guys want me to mentor you to teach you these exact strategies and show you the exact confluences, so like the standalone entry here would have been the high-low break and retest, but the reason why this here would have been an okay entry was because we had an overall trend here, which was bearish, right? We have the 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute, 30 minute, 1 hour, all bearish. So with that said, the sells here would have been nice for a confluence. The only thing here that I would consider to be risky would be that it was within the demand zone, right? There's a demand zone right here. The reason why this is demand slash support, the reason why this here would be tricky is because this is an area where price will typically bounce off and pull back into the range, right? The upper range is up here. So that's why I was holding off on it because I was worried price would come here, fake out, pull back into the range. So it's all good. I'm glad the trades are hitting, but these are considered what I would say risky. They're setups, but they're considered risky because we have the possible area here for price to bounce. Now, here's the thing. If price comes back down lower at this point, this is going to be an area where I'd be looking to take entry now. Because at this point, if price does come below this lower low, retest, grab this liquidity, it'll hit TP and it could probably swing back up, or it can just continue dropping down lower from here. But at that point, it would hit your target 40 points already. So this is going to be an ideal level that I'll be looking to take a high-low break and retest. That's 44,958. So I'll just kind of put that into my ticket window just in case. 44. Just in case price does come down here, I already have it set up and ready to go. Talanji mentioned triple confluence too. Yes. So this right here was also a triple confluence. So triple confluence lined up with a high-low break and retest. Now that you mentioned that, Solange, that this is a pretty nice setup because you got two strategies. Plus, a triple confluence is a very high, it's a high probability strategy. So definitely solid identification of the triple confluence right there. I haven't seen a triple confluence in a while. This price has been so choppy. And then also MPSV2. Yeah. So there's also an MPSV2 that followed up right here, right after it. Looks like the NPSV2 came kind of late though, but yes, it did happen right here. There's a handful of strategies that came up. There's a high-low break and retest, MPSV2, triple confluence, pivot scalp. Yeah, there's like maybe 4 or 5 entries that came up, 4 or 5 different strategies that came up within this little cluster right here. All right, so what I'm looking for next, guys, is I'm looking for price to break and close below this lower low, retest it, and come back lower from that point. So I'll be looking for a high-low break and retest from this point here. Let's see, Daniel said I changed the entry point to break even and whole number above or below the orb entry. It's been better for not getting spiked out of entry. Nice. Yeah, the whole numbers still work pretty well too. So like you can look for the orb and then get in from the whole number instead of like the actual price. It's actually a good idea. Yeah, because the orb over here, you could have got in at 30 instead, right? I'm assuming that's where you got in from, or your target could have been different too. But yeah, that would have been pretty nice. All right, so let's see what happens here. Price looks like it might just kind of range and consolidate around this area for a bit. Again, I'm looking for price to break and close below this lower low, retest, and come back lower from that point. So my specific price area that I'll be looking for price to break below is going to be 44,958. And Sam said he's sticking with ATR strategy for TP. Yeah, which I agree with because the ATR here is pretty low. So if that's the case, you probably just keep aiming for those 20 points or so, or even lower. 15 to 20 points looks like would be the number for you, Sam. All right, now we wait. So we'll see here if price comes back down or if it tries to push back up to the opening range. So the opening range again is going to be down here or up here in this middle point. This is what I was worried about. This is why I didn't really want to take sells around this area because I was worried price was going to come down, sweep at the demand zone and come back into the range here. That's why I was so cautious about taking sells. It looks like that's exactly what's happening here now, right? Price came down to the demand zone. Now it's pushing back to the opening range right here, back to opening price. So there's nothing wrong with being overly cautious, guys, right? Like I missed the trades for today, but I also didn't take any losses, so I'm good with that. Um, I understand how Mondays are. We've been trading live for like 8 years now, so like I understand that Mondays are like the trickier days. Also for the orb. So from the testing that I've done through AI, AI mentioned that the orb is usually not so great on Mondays and Fridays. That's another reason why I kind of sat out on the orb for today. Because there was like red flags, plus, it's just typically on these days, markets all over the place. And that's kind of what's happening right here, right? It looks like a fake out. So it looks like price here broke below. So it ranged here for a bit, broke below, faked out, pulled back into the range. We'll see here if it again, ranges sideways a bit. Now, see, Daniel said last week two orb entries hit at the whole number entry would have spiked stop loss if it was retested and entered at orb price. Yeah, exactly, Daniel. I noticed that too. It was like those orbs that we were like kind of tempted to take, but I decided not to. Price kind of just grabbed the, liquidity at the orb entry and then it kind of spiked out before it came back down. So it's kind of similar to like the regular MPS, right? Like the regular MPS where we would wait for price to break and then we enter at the whole number. It's pretty much the same concept. It's just you're waiting for different confirmations. I still like whole numbers though. I mean, whole numbers are going to be like one of my best things to look for entries at. Even for like stocks and stuff, I still enter at whole numbers. Sam said, yeah, that's also matched my consistency rule, so I'm stuck with it too when using Apex. Yeah, which is smart. I mean, the last thing you want to do is make a bunch of profit and then get denied payout because of consistency. And then you got to trade for another month. Let's see, PC said analyze movement between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m., then look at the 4-hour time frame for targets. If everything lines up, then the orb lines up, then the orb in that direction has a high chance of hitting from my testing. Okay, good to know, PC. Yeah, I've kind of been doing that too, because I know for some people they like to look at the what's that thing called? Accumulation, manipulation, distribution um aspect of it. So they like to look at like you said, the earlier hours to see how the market structure is. The only problem with that is that like the market's been super choppy on open, right? So like yeah, the analysis would be right in a situation like that, but like what we noticed from last week is a lot of times the stop loss will get spiked and then it'll come back down to where it's supposed to go. So I agree with you, PC. I think that's a good way to look at it too, to kind of identify. That's why for me, I use the trend here. So I do the same thing you're doing, but I'm just using the trend as my earlier analysis, right? Because I look at the 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute, 30 minute. I try to see if price is coming down or if it's been coming down, if that's the direction that we should be trading in. And then I typically look to continue, taking the orb in that direction. So yeah, same analysis as yours. It's just I use trend specifically versus like market structure, but they both work the same way. So I agree with you. It's just the market last week was so choppy that it didn't really matter like the direction of price, right? We had a direction, but then a lot of times, price would shift in the morning or it would just be too choppy. All right, so we got price coming back right here. Again, we are back in the opening range. This is exactly what I kind of warned you guys about earlier. I said, watch out for this demand zone because if price breaks out of here, it's probably to push back up. And now we're back up into this upper demand zone. If price pushes up higher from this point, I mean, there could be nice possibility here for price to continue climbing up higher because we have all this liquidity right here, right? See all this liquidity sitting in this area? This is going to be a target area for price to push up to. Price can push up to this point here, grab the liquidity, maybe come right back down. Or price might just sit here down the middle. Right? Who knows? All right, cleaning this up a little bit. We have a new high right here. All right, so price is back in the orb. So the opening range is right here. Price is retesting the orb. We'll see if price breaks past it or if it comes back below. So there's going to be two things that may happen here. Price is either going to come back from here, continue back lower, or price is going to break past the orb and climb up higher from this point. Lots of different scenarios here that may play out. All right, we got price kind of pushing around. We don't have too much going on right here. We got price currently in the demand zone right here. The higher high is getting pushed up higher. All right. Here we're shooting. Rashida said, what did I miss? So the orb hit today. There was a couple entries that came up today, Rashida. So guys, if you guys are just joining into the live session, there was a sweep that happened right here, right at open. We had a high-low break and retest that happened below here. This was also a triple confluence, and then we had the orb over here that hit for a sell as well. So the price over here break below this area, closed below the orb low, which is at 44 or 45.26. Came back right here, retested, kind of went sideways for a bit, and then it came down, hit TP right there for 40 points. So this over here hit 40 points. The orb, the high-low break and retest right here hit full TP for 40 points, and the sweep over here for 40 points as well. It was kind of a tricky area though, from where it's currently at. It's because there was sessions right here. So I skipped out on the orb because of the sessions right here. And then I skipped out on the high-low break and retest right here because price was in the demand zone. Demand slash support. They are at the same level. So whatever you guys want to call it. But I was just being a little careful today because, it's Monday. So I didn't want to hop into anything that was a little too risky. So what I'm waiting for here now is I'm looking for price to either push back above. Right now, the overall trend is currently a little mixed, right? We have 1 minute, which is switched up to bullish. 5 minute is still bearish. 15 minutes still bearish. 30 minutes still bearish. And the 1 hour over here, which is on the neutral side. So with that being the case, price can really push either direction. If price breaks and closes past this area, this is what I was kind of looking for price to come back for retracement, break above here, retest, and push up to this area of liquidity to grab all this area of liquidity up here. If that's not the case and price doesn't end up pushing up higher, then I would look for price to push back below and retest this area down here. Only problem with this, if price does come back below, is that we have all these red flags. We have opening price, we have the session, so it's a little tricky to be taking some sells here within this open area. If I was to take a sell, I'd be looking for sells down below here, below this lower low at 44,958. So I'd be looking for price to push below this point, retest, and break down from there. But again, not really forcing anything here. I'll be looking for stuff if they come up, but not too not getting the itch to like really jump into anything too crazy here. Christian's asking, Sean, can you point me what indicator is the one that shows momentum signals? My trading view deleted. So if you go over here, you go over to your indicators, Christian, go down to your invite only. It's going to be the Cody Kai momentum right here. It's either Cody Kai momentum or that should be it. I think I already fixed the name on it. If you don't see it on yours, send me your username and I'll update yours. It's either going to say Cody Kai momentum or it's going to say proprietary trading strategy. So look at the proprietary trading strategy. I don't know why it's not showing up on mine. It should show up on mine, but it should say Cody Kai proprietary trading or whatever it may be. Yeah, if it doesn't show up on yours, just send me your username and I'll take your name off it and I'll put it right back on. I'll just refresh your access on it. All right, if you guys are looking to take this as a high-low break and retest, guys, this could be a possible entry right here at 45,089. The only problem is that we don't really have confluences here for a buy right now, right? The 1 minute's bullish, but the 5 minute's still bearish, and the 15 minute's still very bearish. So I'm not really looking to take buys here at this very moment. Eventually, I'll be looking to take buys, but right now, at this point in time, not really looking to take buys right now. So if you guys do want to take it, feel free for your limit order to be placed at 45,089. All right, some low volatility here. Let's see if this here breaks and closes past this area. Hasn't broken close past it yet. It's on its way up though. Yeah, Solange also mentioned this is an MPS V2 as well. So we got an MPS V2 running up to the upside, guys. We have a buy signal right here, retracement confirmation on this green candle. This is an MPS V2 for a buy. So you got an MPS V2 running right here for a buy. Again, I'm not in this position. Talanji's not in this position either. He just mentioned it. Um, like we talked about earlier, this is just a tricky area to be trading in because it's within the demand zone right now. Demand zone, also support turn into resistance. It's tricky. So Sam over here got in for ATR, so he got in and out for about 15 points. And Sam is already out right there, 15 points. Sam is basing his trades right here based off the ATR, which is smart, in my opinion, because of the low volatility, right? If you guys are going for the full move here, once it hits 30, you can move your stop loss and profit. If you want to move your stop loss and profit now, you can also do that as well. It's just up to preference. Full target's going to be here for the 40. Yeah, definitely. Sam got that for 50. Nice work, Sam. All right, so there's a high-low break and retest, which is possibly setting up right here. The high-low break and retest is going to be right here at 45.89. If this doesn't fill on this candle right here, then you have to cancel your order. So we got a couple of trades running alongside each other right here. We have MPS V2, and then we have a possible high-low break and retest right here, right next to it. It's got 10 seconds left on this candle. If it doesn't come down and fill it in the next 10 seconds, then you have to cancel the order. It's almost there. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Cancel your order there for high, low break and retest. There's now just one trade running right here for an MPS V2. So there's MPS V2 running right there for a buy. And that's about it. So we'll kind of wait here and see how this here ends up playing through. Again, I'm not looking to take buys here yet, guys, until the 5-minute and 15-minute here close above it. I don't know if we'll be able to get this today because, again, it's 7:16. This is kind of the same thing we were dealing with last week, right? Price would shift trends mid-market or just mid-session, but it wouldn't be enough for the 15-minute here to confirm it, right? Because I need the 15-minute to actually close above the pivots, and I need it to hold above that area for me to take buys, which is okay. If I don't get any trades today, I'm not really forced. I don't feel the need to force anything today. We have a whole week ahead of us. Again, you guys want to keep in mind that there's a lot of stuff going on this week, right? So let me just put this over here. Things to look out for this week, right? It's NFP week, jobs data, payroll data, Fed news this week. What else is there? There is tariff news. We also have mega earnings week. So there's just a lot of stuff here to pay attention to, guys. I mean, I'm probably not even covering everything here to look out for, but we have NFP this week, jobs data, payroll data, Fed, which is also speaking this week. We have tariff news. We have the tariff deadline, which I think is next week on the 4th, so August 4th. That means that a lot of stuff is going to be talked about this week. And then we have mega earnings this week. If you guys saw my earnings calendar, we have a whole bunch this week. So a lot of these are in the S&P. They're also in the Dow. So that's going to affect YM, of course, right? There's a lot of stuff happening this week, so expect a lot of volatility. That's why for me, I don't feel the need to force anything today because I know if there's not a lot of volatility today, there's probably going to be a lot of volatility tomorrow and the following day after that, right? So looking over here, yeah, we don't really have much today. We have Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index, which is going to be negative today. Tomorrow we have Jolt's job openings. We have good trades balance. We have CB consumer confidence. And on Wednesday, we have ADP employment change. We have GDP growth rate. This is going to also tie in with the Fed news. We also have the Fed interest rate decision, which is going to be, so this is going to be tricky because, they've been pressuring Powell to like drop the interest rate. I don't think it's going to drop this month. He's not really like giving in to Trump. And then Thursday, we have jobs data. We have inflation news right here. And then, of course, on Friday, we have NFP, the biggest day of the week. So we got a lot of stuff coming up. I mean, we're starting off to a little bit of a slow start, which is typically how NFP does work. I mean, NFP on Mondays normally just kind of feeler day for everybody, trying to identify the direction of price. And then from there, it usually starts to pick up quite a bit. So I'm expecting more volatility in direction tomorrow. You can see over here, market open over here at 6:30. Price kind of pushed up a little bit, faked out, swept from this area, came down, retested this, or initially tested the demand zone, then pushed back up, retested this demand zone, broke and closed past it. And now we'll see here if price pushes up higher. Like I said earlier, ideally, I'd like price to push up higher because we have all of this liquidity here to grab. So if it does push up, that'd be a nice little target for price to reach, but it doesn't necessarily have to hold, right? So we'll see what happens here in a few. So I'm gonna step away for 1 second, guys. I'm gonna grab something to drink real quick, and then I will be right back to continue on with this analysis here. All right, guys, I'm back. Let's see. Nothing much here has happened. Price pretty much pushed up, established a new range. Price is pretty much just ranging within the demand zone right here. Let's see. CJ said when I go to invite only indicators, the momentum and trend meter are no longer there. Yeah, send me your username, CJ, and Christian. You can send it to me on Discord, and I'll refresh your access on it. Um, the thing with TradingView is that they always roll out updates, and I think what happened was those indicators are super old. They've been there for, I don't know, like 8 years now. So I think what happened was I needed to update the code. Because I did update the code, but it's I mean that was like version 2 or version 3. We're at, like now at version 6, I think, or version 7 with the Pine script code. So yeah, just send me a message on Discord and then I'll update it for you guys. Send me your username, Christian, not the email. That'll because I need the username for the trading view. Yeah, so they also updated that. Before you were able to look up people by email, but now it's just username. So yeah, once you send that to me, I can update it for you. All right, guys, price is pretty much just ranging within the demand zone here. You can see price here is kind of pushing back up. We'll see if we have a possible break and retest off this area right here, 45, 115, possible retest area. The orb here is, or not the orb, the MPSV2 is still running. Let me go and take a look at the overall trend. So the overall trend here is, I mean, it's shifting to a bullish trend, but we don't really have confirmation yet on the 5. So looking over here, this 5 minute has to close above it. We had price slightly close above it, then it retested right here, the pivots, and then now it's trying to push back up above it again here on the 5. Again, if you guys want to take this here as a high-low break and retest, there's going to be a possible opportunity here at 45, 115. I'll just put that number in my bracket or my ticket window over here just in case I do feel that this looks like a good entry right now. I think it's an okay entry. I don't think it's a super good one. Reason for that's because we're currently ranging within this area, right? I don't like taking directional moves when we're currently in a range. Right now we're ranging back and forth. If this here was, so say for example, it pushed up, pulled back a little bit and pushed right back up above it really quickly, then in that situation, I would have been more inclined to take this entry for a buy. But because price here is now consolidating sideways, this isn't really the best time to be looking for directional moves. At this point, you probably want to be looking for some sweeps. So I will be looking at opportunity here for possible high-low break and retest. Um, this over here, so we have a new high here. If this is the case and this high here is established, then this one pretty much invalidates this previous high that we were looking at. So this here is where it's going to cause a little bit of an issue. We also have news right here at 7 o'clock or 7:30. No, your username for TradingView, Christian, because you want access on the TradingView, right? So your username for TradingView is what I would need to update it. Because Discord and TradingView are different. So I don't your Discord username wouldn't work on the on TradingView. You'd have to look at your TradingView. Like you'd go over here to your TradingView, click on this, and then it'll say your username right there. Right there. That's where you'd find it. Okay, gotcha. Got it. Let me whoops, drag this over here. Yeah, the thing with TradingView is like they always have updates, but they never tell you when they update anything. That's why sometimes like these indicators kind of go off and I just got to update them for you manually. All right, Christian, your momentum should be good. You just got to refresh your chart. All right, there you go. Just back over here. All right, looks like you're good, Christian. Yeah, CJ, if you want to send me yours as well. I can update yours for you. Okay, guys, so we still have opportunity right here for high-low break and retest. If you guys are looking to take that, again, price needs to break and close past this higher high right here. This lower high hasn't been established yet, so price still has opportunity to push past it. Once there's a new low that's established, though, then this one here becomes invalidated, and this here would be the new one. Okay, so now that we have a new low here, which is currently pending, this higher high is no longer going to be the level for high-low break and retest. The new level is going to be right here at this lower high. But like I said earlier, you don't want to take directional strategies or directional entries when price is, when price is moving around like this. You, for the most part, want to take sideways entries. So you probably want to look for some sweeps around these areas. So if you want to look for sweeps for a buy, your sweep level would probably be right here at this one of these lower levels. So probably around like 45.71 or 45.66. So yeah, if you guys are looking to take entries right there for sweep, these are going to be your sweep levels down below. So you look for price to come down, grab liquidity, sweep back up. But in the sideways market right here, you definitely want to be careful with your entries. The MPSV2 from here earlier is still technically running, guys. If you guys moved your stop loss and profit once it hit 30, you should have gotten out at 10 points. So 30 points was already hit here. Your stop loss should have been moved in profit. If that was the case, you got out at 10. If you only aim for 30, you could have gotten out for 30. If you did what Sam did earlier and you got out at 15, you would have gotten out at 15. But you guys can see here, price is just in a super heavy range. And there's not really much direction here. All right, CJ, I saw your message there. I'm gonna go and drag this back over. All right, let's take a look at the weekly chart real quick. So we're not at that weekly level yet. This is the monthly chart, actually. Here's the weekly. Yeah, price is stuck within this consolidation area right here, right now. So take a look at that in a few. Yeah, and I see your message, CJ. All right, let me update that for you real quick. All right. All right, it should be good, CJ. Now just refresh your trading view and you should be able to see it on your chart now. All right, guys, not much going on here. Again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. Right here, you can see price here is just ranging back and forth within this middle area. Not really too much going on here, so there's nothing to take. If you guys do want to take entries, of course, I think sweeps would probably be your best option here. If you want to look for some B1 variations, you can also look for that. But looking at this here, you should probably look for sweeps at the extremes. So if you're looking for a sweep, look for the sweep down here. If you're looking for a sweep up here, look for a sweep up here, like at the extremes, not at the closest one, but at the one that's farthest out. Looking at this so far, let's take a look at the trend. So the overall trend here is still bearish. Price may break below this point and continue dropping. So that's something to keep an eye out, pay attention to, understand. There is, yeah, there's just a lot of uncertainty here with regard to direction of price. Here's the thing with NFP, guys. NFP is either going to be very volatile or it's going to be very rangy. I think the market's going to be volatile. I think today price is just kind of, it's in limbo. It's going back and forth a lot. But I think eventually price is going to pick back up and it's going to start breaking out again. Nothing happened with the news at 7:30, guys. Volatility was super low. Let's take a look at the news real quick. So the news was actually positive. 7:30 news right here was positive, and then it just kind of pushed up a little bit, but then it came right back down. So we got price right here at this lower area of liquidity. Well, there's two things that may happen here. Price will either sweep this area and swing back up. That's one. The other thing is price can break below, retest, and come back lower from there. Two different scenarios there. We'll see if price actually breaks out of this range. If this is the case and price breaks below the range, I think this could provide some opportunity for possible sell because the overall trend here is still bearish, right? 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute, 30 minute, they're all still bearish. So the sells here could still be pretty good. There's no retest of that area. Price is now pushing back down lower to retest this area, which is the session or the opening price. And then if it drops lower, the next area for test is going to be the sessions down here. So first opening price, and then if price breaks past the opening price right there, possible sessions below. All right, we'll see what happens here for you. So for my stock portfolio, I'm trying to get into Meta and I'm trying to get into Visa. I'm gonna check that real quick. So I'm trying to get into Meta. My entry price is at, yeah, it's not gonna happen. Just trying to get in right here at 710. Yeah, these are probably not gonna fill. 357. Yeah, we just had that big bullish push right there. I'll see if it retraces back a little bit. All right, I'm just gonna come back to these a little later. I'm trying to buy into Meta over here. I was trying to get in at 710, but it does not look like I'm gonna get a fill there. Mm, 715. I'll come back to this later. All right, so it looks like the sweep over here played through. So this is what I told you guys about earlier. I said if you guys want to take sweeps, look for the sweep at the extremes, which would have been right there. So it looks like price swept up back into the range and hit TP right there already. So full TP right there for a sweep. All right, solid. So this is the trade I told you guys about earlier. I said if you guys want to take a trade within this area, look for possible sweeps at the extreme. So meaning the farther levels outside. Right here, if you got the sweep from the 45, let's see, 45.66, you would take the buy right there with the limit order. Price came down, filled it, pulled back a little bit for some drawdown, swung right back up, hit TP. So there goes the initial sweep right there. So initial sweep at that point, I mean, other than that, there's not really much else here. I'm gonna clean this up a little bit now that we've gone that. Yeah, now we wait. All right, if you guys are again looking to take another sweep here, again, your sweep level will be at the extremes, either down here at 45.52 or over here at 45.115. Two areas of sweep right there. Yeah, no problem, CJ. All right, guys. If there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. It is 7:41 right now. We got about 20 minutes till 8 o'clock. I'm just not really seeing much here. Price is kind of just ranging and consolidating within this middle area. So if there's anything that you guys want me to cover, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, we will kind of just wait and see. Wait and see, but I'm not expecting much to happen here. I'm looking for a directional move, but price has not broken and closed past this area. All right. Let's see if price here breaks past this area. So price is now breaking above this area, guys. If you're looking to take a sweep, your sweep level will probably be around here at the 45.115. Price could possibly break past this area though. So this is going to be a little bit of a tricky entry if you are looking to take the sweep, because the 1 minute's bullish. The 5 minute here, if it closes above, which is going to happen in the next 2 minutes, this could confirm a bullish trend shift. So I would probably be careful with the sweep around this area. I probably wouldn't take that as a sweep, because it looks like if price does break past this area, you might try and grab the liquidity up here. Again, guys, if you guys didn't look at the upper levels, there's a ton of liquidity sitting up here. No confirmation yet, but that 5 minute is going to be, deciding factor here if price does continue to climb up higher. So we got the 5 minute right here, has about a minute 30 left on it. Again, if it closes above the pivots here and it holds this area, it's likely to push up higher. And if it pushes up higher, we got all this liquidity here to grab. There's not going to be a high-low break and retest here because the nearest level is right here. So price did break past here, but did not retest. Um, One thing that you could be looking for if you're looking to take the buy here is an MPSV2. We have a buy signal right here. Price is retraced right here on this red candle. If the next candle is green, this could be a possible MPSV2 for a buy. The 40 points still hasn't hit for the original MPSV2. The 30 points already hit there earlier, but we'll see here. If this ends up closing green, this is an MPSV2 for a buy. And it looks like it can possibly break past this area too. So if you guys are looking to take this MPSV2 for a buy, it's going to also be a high-low break and retest, or not a high-low break and retest, just a high-low break and close. High-low scalp entry to be exact. It's gonna be a little tricky. I think there's a couple red flags up here. If price pushes up higher. Let me see. No, okay, so this is actually it's close to the red flag, but it's not at it. So this right here is an MPS V2. It's also a high-low scalp, guys. Not a break and retest, but a high-low scalp. We had a low right here, lower high and higher high, which got broken. So this right here would be an MPS V2. It also would line up with the high-low scalp, one of the original strategies. Not what I would be taking again, because like I said, this is probably gonna be best for sweeps. But if you do want to take that directional move, this here would be a MPS V2 plus a high-low scalp. This is where it conflicts because this could also be a sweep, right? You can take trades in either direction here. And I don't like trades when there's two different scenarios here that can play out. So there's a sweep running right here, and there's also a high-low break and retest plus a MPS V2 running alongside each other. So it just kind of depends if you're on the, what side of the chart you're on. For me, though, I don't think the 5 minute confirmed. Yeah. So like I said earlier, in order for me to take these trades, and let me just maximize this a little bit. So this is what we were waiting for here, right? I was looking for this here to close above it and actually hold above this area. You can see our price has closed above it a couple times, but hasn't actually held, right? Price broke and closed above it, pulled right back down. Closed above it, pulled right back down. Closed above it right here. Still hasn't confirmed that's going to actually hold. Um, for me, I'm not really looking to take the buys here until I have a confirmation of overall trend, right? So I'm looking over here at the 1 minute, 5 minute, and 15 minute. So in order for me to really want to get into any buys here, I need the 15 minute to also confirm. If you look over here on the 15 minute, this here is still bearish, right? Price is below the pivots. The trend mirror is red. Pivots are angling to the downside. We do have some divergence to the upside right here, but it's not really moving in the direction that we would necessarily want it to, right? There's no confirmation here just yet. So in order for me to really take buys, I need price to break above it, hold above this area, and continue climbing. If that was the case, then okay, great, I would take the buys here, but there's just no confluence. So I'm pretty much just, waiting. Yeah, PC said back to open. I could see that too. We're still stuck within this range here. So the sweep here looks like it filled. This is pretty much what I've been warning you guys about pretty much all day today. I said if you guys want to take any entries, look for the sweeps, right? The sweep over here hit when it hit the extreme low, and then the sweep here hit when it hit the extreme high. Price is still stuck within this range. So while it's stuck within this range, you should mainly just be looking for sweeps. Yeah, Sam said BTO question mark. Yeah, BTO back to open, which is going to be opening price right here. So basically swept this high right here back to the opening price. Because again, we still don't have confirmation, right? We don't have confirmation of a shift of trend yet. So, I mean, there's not really going to be any reason for me to take any buys here until we have that confirmation. Yeah, PC said if 120 holds, then back to open. Okay, I can see that. Yeah, so basically PC mentioned if price doesn't break and close past this area, or if it doesn't push past 120, then he's expecting price to push back to the opening price down here back to open. The the only problem here again, like we talked about, is I don't know if this is going to be enough for it to actually drop. It's like it might just stay within this range for a bit. Eventually, I do think price is going to try to reach the all-time high again. Where's the new all-time high? Right, the new all-time high is at 45,312. So we're not super far from it, but we are a bit of a distance away from it. It's not going to hit, probably not going to hit today. It's about 218 points away from it right now. So we're not extremely far from it, but we're not close either. All right, guys, if there's any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. It is 7:49 right now. We got about 10 minutes until 8 o'clock. Yeah, we got 10 minutes till 8. So, all right, we don't got anything going on here, guys. Price is still in this range. So, I mean, PC's analysis is still hasn't, I mean, it hasn't hit 120 yet, so we can still go back to opening price. Strong possibility. All right, looks like we might be going back to open here. There's an MPS running right now for a sell. Let's see. So we got a sell signal right here, retracement confirmation. Yeah, MPS V2 for a sell here to the downside. It's already at 35 points. So if you guys want to move your stop loss and profit, whoever's in this position, you can. If you want to write it down, then looks like it's going to push down to that 40. Yeah, full TP right there, 40 points. So as you guys can see, there are entries that are coming up. They're just not entries that I would personally take because they just don't meet my criteria, right? I'm trying to trade in the direction of the trend here, but there just isn't any setups that I'm really interested in. Looking over here on the 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute, 30 minute, price is bearish. So ideally I'd be looking for some sells here, but there just wasn't any like really good sell setups. So I would have looked for, and there's a possibly a high low break and retest that might happen right here. It would have to fill on this candle. So price broke and closed below this higher low. If you're looking to take this as a high low break and retest, it's going to be right here at 45,069. It's got about 15 seconds left on it. I don't think it's enough time for this to get filled. So if it doesn't get filled on this candle, you're supposed to cancel it. Got about 5 seconds left on it. 3, 2, 1. No fill right there. So nothing for a high low break and retest. Price is now below this point, and it's attempting to retest the opening price. So we had a sweep right here. So you guys can see the storyline as price came down to this point, back to open. We had price come up. It swept off this higher high right here, came down below, followed by an MPS V2, and straight down to opening price. Yeah, PC said what I'm thinking is we move lower to the 020 area, then rally to pre-market range, then news will push us above the all-time high. Yeah, I could see that too. I'm expecting the all-time high to get pushed up higher this week, guys, during NFP. So I think right here, price will kind of just sit in limbo, kind of bounce around a bit. Eventually, it'll push back up and destroy the all-time high up here. Go right through it. It's going to happen at some point. I mean, it might not happen tomorrow, but it'll probably, if it doesn't happen tomorrow, it'll probably happen by Friday for sure. Yeah, Sam said 45.52 liquidity needs to be taken out. It's most likely the fuel to the push up, but back token sounds good. PC mentioned, I think swing shorts are going to get wrecked this week. Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of people, so this is what happens almost every time we get to an all-time high. If you guys have been trading with me for a while, I think it happened a lot this year and last year. Whenever price gets near the all-time high, people always try to sell off and they think price is going to dump. But in reality, price just ends up coming right back up higher and it just pushes right through. So if you guys remembered a lot of the times this year and last year when price was hitting all-time highs, let's go to the daily time frame. So every time, like you can see over here, this is from 2024, right? Every time price reached the all-time high, people would sell off and they're like, okay, price is going to sell off, and price would end up just breaking right through it and pushing up higher. We actually kept trading higher for the all-time high last year. If you guys remember, I was taking the micro scalps. If you guys remember those micro scalps, people were scared to trade the all-time highs, and I just kept trading that. Every time price hit all-time high, I just rode it up higher. Um, and I think that's going to be the case here again, right? We had a big little slump over here during the tariff news, and then price is on its way to continue pushing past a new all-time highs. It's crazy how far the all-time highs have pushed. Um, and I'm expecting the same thing to happen here again. So, I agree with you, PC. I think the swing shorts are going to get destroyed because I think eventually it's going to come right back up. So back to open, it did exactly what we were talking about. Price swept right here, swept this higher high, followed by an MPSV2 back to open right there. So now that it's back at open, we'll see what happens here. Price might pull down a little lower. This is a high-low break and retest as well for a sell right here, guys. There's a high-low break and retest that's currently running. I mean, this is too close to 8 o'clock though, so I wouldn't have taken this trade. I would have been done trading by now. 757 right now, but this is a high-low break and retest currently running. Or sorry, I take that back actually. It's not a high-low break and retest because this high-low was the most recent low. So this is just the high-low scalp. Price broke past this lower low right here, the sell signal. So this is a high-low scalp from here. All right, guys, it's about to be 8 o'clock. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, today was a pretty decent day overall. I mean, there's a lot of good entries, or not, I wouldn't say good entries. There was a lot of entries that came up and they pretty much all hit. So if you guys are just joining in or if you guys didn't see what hit for today, we had a sweep that happened over here on market open. We had a high-low break and retest that happened right here. We had the orb entry that hit today for full TP, if you guys saw that. So we had the orb over here hit full TP for 40 points. We had orb full TP 40 points. We had a sweep here 40 points, high-low break and retest 40 points, MPSV2 right here for 30 points, sweep over here for 20 points, and another sweep right here, and then MPSV2. So we had a lot of trades that came up. They just weren't really good trades. Like they weren't good setups that fit my criteria or my confluences. Typically, I like to trade in the direction of the trend. So like for me personally, I was waiting for price to kind of confirm a bullish trend confirmation. Didn't really confirm here on the 5 minute, never confirmed here on the 15 minute. It was just here on the 1 minute. And then when price swung back down right here, there just wasn't any opportunity for me to take because this high-low break and retest didn't really show up at this high-low right here. So other than that, I mean, there's a lot of good setups here that just kind of hit, but I wouldn't consider them like quality entries. That's why I didn't take it myself. So, all right, I think this might be it. Yeah, Sam said miss MPSV2 sell. Anyway, slow market ending in green. Yeah, definitely, Sam. Hopefully tomorrow market will be a lot more directional and more volatile for us to take some more entries. For today, I'm just feeling out the market. So I'm feeling out the market. We have NFP this week, tariff news. We have mega earnings this week. There's just a lot of stuff going on, guys. So just be careful and be cautious with the entries you guys decide to take. Today, there wasn't really much news that pushed price around. We had the Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index at 7:30. It was positive. Tomorrow, we have Joel's job openings and good trades balance. This is happening at pre-market and then at 7 o'clock. So we're going to have some pretty high volatility pre-market into market open. And then on Wednesday, we have a lot more news here as well. This is going to be Fed day. Thursday, we have inflation news, jobs data, and then Friday, we have NFP. So we have a pretty busy week ahead of us. I'm okay with no trades for the day. If you guys did take any of the trades that we identified, nice work. But if you didn't, it's perfectly fine, guys. Take today as a feeler day and come back tomorrow fresh, ready to get into some entries. So. All right, guys, if there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to hit me up on Discord. If you guys want to join the Discord, it's completely free. If you want to join the website, understand these strategies, understand these tools, just scroll down to the description below. It has all the information right there for the website, my contact information, the Discord, etc. Again, if you guys want to be mentored by me, I am opening the mentorship. So one-on-one mentorships are available to you guys. Just go on the website, sign up on there, or message me on Discord if you want to know any details about it. Um, Again, if you guys want to learn mentorship, basically what I'm going to be teaching is going to be literally what we're doing here. I'm going to be teaching you guys exactly how to trade, how I'm trading. You guys know my daily trade book. So there's going to be 3 different strategy types that we're going to be looking at: directional strategies, sideways strategies, breakouts. And you'll be understanding which is going to be quality, which is going to be unquality, depending on your confluences and checklists. But all right, guys, I think that's it. Yeah, CJ said I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow or Wednesday we get back-to-back entries. Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for those days where they're going to be really solid this week, where I can just kind of stack up my entries versus a day like this, which is kind of tricky and more of a riskier entry to be taking. So, all right, guys, I think that's it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord. Otherwise, great trading day today, solid market.